Right, so dark web. I should probably start this video by saying I'm only going to talk about the main Spider-Man portion of dark web. I haven't gotten to Venom yet, and when I do get to Venom I'll do a video on the Venom stuff, because apparently that's much better than what we're getting in Spider-Man. And I haven't been reading Gold Goblin because I don't have the money for minis, and I haven't been reading I haven't been reading Mary Jane and Black Cat, the Mary Jane Black Cat book, because I don't have the money for minis, and I didn't read the Miss Marvel tie-in or the X-Men tie-in. Apparently all of those are better than what's in the main Spider-Man book. I'm not at a position where I can I'm not at a position where I can comment on any of those because I haven't read them, but it wouldn't take much to be better than what's in the main Spider-Man book. I've had a problem with Spider-Man for a while, since like halfway through the Spencer run. Like, Nick Spencer took so long to get to the Kindred reveal, and then to actually, fight Kindred, and do that story properly. Like, the first, Kindred arc, where Spidey actually fought Kindred, that was great. I remember getting really hyped about that. Like, Sin's, fucking whatever it was called, the arc with the Sin Eater, and then going into the arc with Kindred. That was great. I thought that was great. It was also very quick reads. This isn't. And it's meant to be your big event. Even Beyond, I was like, I didn't get into Beyond, and this is a direct sequel to what happened in that. How Beyond left was Ben Reilly had his memories taken away, his memories essentially wiped. He had holes filled by the Beyond, holes of his memory taken out by the Beyond Company, and he blames Spider-Man for it. So that's kind of led into Ben Reilly becoming a villain and becoming Chasm and going to Madeline Pryor of all people and being like, I'm a clone, you're a clone, let's go in a room and stare at each other for an hour. While my girlfriend watches, there's something just that doesn't really make a lot of sense about this. First of all, it's a Spider-Man story about hell taking over New York, Spider-Man going to hell, and the Spider-Man stories where he does something big and bombastic, never as good as Spider-Man, a street level Spider-Man story where he just beats up some crooks. It's just never as good. It just never feels as right, because Spidey feels out of his depth in a way that isn't fun. It's not as fun to see Spider-Man be in a supernatural or a mystical situation as it is to see the Punisher in a situation where he's out of his depth, and seeing how he works against fighting either something that's superpowered or but I just don't like how Dark Web is written. Jed MacKay kind of just doesn't really get Peter. Like, Peter hasn't really been written like a adult or like a human being for forever. Like, Nick Spencer never really written like an adult. The Beyond stuff, the 300 writers that were on Beyond never really knew how to write Peter because he wasn't in the book for most of it. He was unconscious. So, like, just having this whole arc where Peter and Ben Reilly are bickering towards each other like they're school children is... I understand Ben Reilly talking like he does because he's had his memories wiped, but I don't understand half of the stuff that Peter decides to do. And it's revealed in the X-Men tie-in that Jean Grey can just give memories back whenever she feels like it. So why then is there no conversation with Ben Reilly about, hey, we can give you your memories back? No, just gonna keep on invading New York. So boring this book is. It's making me yawn just talking about it. I'm going to talk about the pros, because there's only two. The first one is Ed McGuinness on art. Whenever Ed McGuinness draws a book, you know it's going to look cool. You know it's going to look beautiful. You know, like, the action's going to feel kinetic. It basically will look like your quintessential comic book art. And I just love the way Ed McGuinness draws, like, a muscled, beefed up character. Like, the way he draws Venom, his Venom looks really cool. When Chasm's all beefed up by the end of the fourth issue, that's great. I haven't read the final issue yet. I'm planning on doing a standalone video on that. But yeah, to go from John Romita Jr.'s art, which is good in its own right. I like John Romita Jr.'s art. I don't like his faces, but I like when he's drawing Spider-Man swinging through the city and when he's drawing Spider-Man fighting a villain. And that's been the main portion of this book. It's just been Spider-Man's fighting this person, and it's going to be a knockdown, drag-out fight. Spider-Man's fighting the Vulture. It's going to be a big bombastic fight. Spider-Man's fighting two hobgoblins. It's a big bombastic fight. You know, and there's not really... It's kind of all style, no substance. And that's the ultimate way to describe Jed MacKay's whole run, and especially Dark Web. It's all style, no substance. Like, half of this book is J. Jonah Jameson being forced to do like a stand-up routine by these demons, and instead of it being like stand-up, he's being forced to go back to his old J. Jonah Jameson ways, and they're literally saying, I want you to say, get me spicy pics of Spider-Man. And it's like, and you can tell that it's being written by someone who wrote scripts for Robot Chicken, because that's how it reads. And, you know, reading a script in a comic book, it's never going to be as funny as watching an episode of Robot Chicken. And even then, is Robot Chicken really that funny? Is it? Be true to yourself. Come on. It reads like a bad sketch comedy script. And, you know, there's this new character called Wreck Rap, which is Parker backwards. And that's stupid. It's a cool drawing, but I feel like that's it. And I don't think the last issue's going to save it for me. I don't think the Dark Web finale is going to really get me excited about this storyline, because everything just kind of doesn't make sense. It's just cool drawings with if you can look at this book and just look at the art and not read a single word, you'll probably enjoy it. The moment you start looking at words in this book, in Dark Web in particular, that's when it kind of falls apart. From the first fucking word, it falls apart, and you know, that's a problem when the art is so much better than the writing, and you know that that's not what you're going to be getting going forward. John Romita Jr. is probably not back for a while, because after this we're going to get the story of what did Peter do to like fuck up his life and to make everyone hate him, and I don't really care about that, because you know that it's going to lead to one of the worst Marvel events in decades, and I genuinely think that this is worse than like Monsters Unleashed. This is worse than Civil War 2, you know. It's worse than Infinity Warps or Infinity Wars. This is so just, there is nothing here. You can tell that Jed MacKay probably had fun writing this, because it was like going back to writing Robot Chicken, and it was like, we're going to, how silly can we do this, and how much can we lose the stakes, and how much can we like just make this a comedy book without, when it really shouldn't be. You're dealing with like someone getting amnesia and dealing with his like trauma, and you're turning that into a comedy. It just feels very insensitive to people who have like memory loss in real life. But outside of that, it's just not a very good book. If you're trying to write a comedy, fucking write a comedy. Write it to be funny. Don't write it to be just weird. And that's all this book is. It's just fucking weird. And that's it. It's just weird. You know, when you have a character called Wreck-Rap in your book, don't have that be the only thing that people talk about when the book is over. Just wreck crap. That's all I can say about this book. It's just, it's crap. If you're reading Spider-Man at the moment, and if you're one of the many people that Spider-Man is your favorite superhero, I'm so sorry for you, because he's been treated so badly by Nick Spencer, which probably isn't his fault, by, you know, the people that did Beyond, the fucking Jed MacKay. He hasn't had a good book, like a like top tier, top of the shelf, really good book in forever. Like, I don't think I was reading Spider-Man the last time that he had a book that I was really, really interested in and really invested in. And that sucks. This whole what did Peter Parker do could be the best Spider-Man story ever, and I just wouldn't care, because it's something that's set in the past, and I know that it leads to a mid-Tombstone story, a nothing Vulture story, and a shit Hobgoblin story, and an even worse event. You know, I know that it's going to lead to Midtown, and I don't know if I care about what gets us there, as long as if that story's good and if what comes after that is good as well, then, you know, fine. But I think that's going to be the end of Jed MacKay's run, because people don't like it. People don't like Mary Jane having a family and having kids and having a husband that's not Peter Parker, and I think that might be like the big reveal, because apparently MJ's got powers now. She's got like a big slot machine. She's called Jackpot. So I think what happened is she got superpowers. She got the slot machine. She rolled all sevens, and then she got the perfect life without Peter. And Peter's like, oh, fucking hell, I'm not involved in a perfect life. I'm going to fuck it up somehow. Or I'm going to do something to fuck it up somehow. And that's gonna lead to, like, everyone hating Peter Parker is because he's done something slimy and pathetic to fuck up his girlfriend's or his ex-girlfriend's perfect life without him. Which, to be fair, something like that, it would make everyone, including the rest of the superhero community, fucking hate you, because it's just fucking pathetic. And that's exactly what Jed MacKay would do with Spider-Man at the moment. He would make him the most pathetic character ever. Because he has. That's what I've been reading. I've been reading A Man-Child. And it doesn't read like Peter Parker. You know, there have been stories and there have been books where Peter Parker has been unlikable. Those books are never the best Spider-Man stories, and also the version of Peter Parker that we've gotten in the movies has always been likable Peter Parker. Even Andrew Garfield was like, I'm kind of likable. I'm kind of a dick, but I'm a likable dick. And like, just the version of Peter Parker that Jed MacKay has written is not likable, and that's the biggest problem. Is like, you have turned the most popular character in the Marvel universe into an asshole. I don't know where you go from there. I don't know how you make this book better without completely changing the character direction of Peter Parker. And even then, does that negate everything that happened at the start of the book? I don't know. I don't think so, but anyway. Let me know in the comments below what you've been thinking of Dark Web in particular, but Spider-Man in general. Let me know what your favourite Spider-Man run has been, and let me know what you're thinking of Jed MacKay's Spider-Man. If you've been one of the people that's been enjoying it, more power to you. You're allowed to have a differing opinion to me. I haven't been enjoying it, to be honest. I kind of liked that Tombstone arc, but everything after that has just been too quick and just hasn't really had any substance at all. It's just been big fight into big fight into big fight with nothing happening in between, and it doesn't feel like Spider-Man. It doesn't feel like quintessential Spider-Man. It just feels like some dickhead who puts on a Spider-Man suit. It feels like this Peter Parker is closer to what Ben Reilly was than what Peter Parker is. And or it's closer to even Kane, to be fair. But yeah, it just doesn't... I don't like reading a Peter Parker that's not likable. So, yeah, that's my biggest thing. But yeah, let me know in the comments below what you've been thinking of the Spider-Man book at the moment, what you thought Dark Web. Please don't spoil anything in the comments, because I haven't read Dark Web finale yet. There are people in the comments that probably haven't read Dark Web finale yet. So yeah, I will see you guys in the next video, where I will be talking about probably Fantastic Four, because their book is actually quite good. I'm quite excited to talk about that, because it's the most I've enjoyed in a Fantastic Four run in a while. So I will see you guys then. Peace.